Example, green processing earns benefit bonus credit towards meeting policy, encouraging sustainable methods rather than incremental processing. RMRDC should mobilize the RMRDC digital library for green chemistry. I highly recommend that RMRDC conduct systematic reviews from digital library to identify gaps. They can employ AI to identify these research gaps, processing research, and publish annotated databases of green chemistry techniques. Please go back. Or green chemistry techniques that can directly give industries to make informed decisions. RMRDC should leverage Council Division for Green Tech, the department in charge of chemicals and reagents, are poised to support research and development in chemicals, advanced materials, and biomass valorization. They should launch interdepartmental, or if you like, inter-unit green projects as plant extract nanoparticle synthesis, bio-based adsorbate from agro-waste, green catalysts from local minerals with clear commercialization pathways. They should be able to commercialize it. RMRDC should scale up triple helix innovation, that's the government, the academia, and the industries. They should establish green chemistry innovation incubators within these hubs, where the academy, industry, and startups co-develop materials and pilot plants, especially biorefineries, green catalysts, biodegradable polymers. They should also strengthen private sector engagement. They should partner with manufacturers and industry associations, example one, to set up certification standards. There must be a certification standard for green processed raw materials alongside market incentives like preferential procurement by the government. There is a need to integrate circular economy into RMRDC's advocacy. Reducing raw material imports, just like I stated earlier, and optimizing utilization are the core mandates of this, of RMRDC. I strongly recommend that RMRDC embeds circular economy frameworks into their policies. For example, waste to resource programs where industrial or agricultural waste become formal feedstock. They shouldn't be wasted. Next, please. There is a need to educate industry on green chemistry benefits. One barrier to green chemistry is low awareness. RMRDC must co-sponsor national campaigns, workshops, certifications. They should also sponsor final year brilliant students in their research, targeting industrial chemists, material chemists, engineers, and SMEs to build competencies in employing these 12 principles in their framework. Finally, RMRDC must develop sustainability measures to ensure the success and the progress towards this material utilization. RMRDC must measure their outcomes. They must create key performance indicators for green chemistry adoption, including reduction in waste, energy intensity. They should be able to check this and publish a public annual scorecard to drive transparency and accountability. In conclusion, green chemistry promises to offer a pathway to sustainable industrialization in Nigeria. It enables efficient and eco-friendly utilization of these raw materials, thereby reducing pollution and promoting economic growth. Overall, green chemistry offers innovation and creates opportunities for local industry. What it means that we are going to have a lot of local industries when once the economy is prospered. Thank you very much. So these are my references.
Another round of applause for our guest lecturer. said that green chemistry is actually part of the circular economy that the council is vesting so much interest in under the leadership of our DG. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite questions from our audience here gathered. Can I have 2 questions from my right, 2 questions from my left, and let's make them mixed. So we're gender sensitive, gender balanced.
Our presenter, Mr. Chuku, we sincerely thank you for the well-researched paper about IMRDC. And because this paper couldn't have been presented better than even IMRDC staff. We delved into IMRDC activities, our archives, our reports, even our raw material 360. I must thank you for that. And from that, you would have realized the management effort in the development of green chemistry. As Madam Shiri has pointed out, the DG is strongly promoting the essence of green chemistry in setting up the Center for Circularity and Repurposing to look at not only green chemistry, but even other materials that are not chemically linked, that are environmentally safe for utilization. I must also inform you, at the DG side, one of the projects you approved as a strategic and high impact project for the CCR division is the conversion of rice husk into silica nanoparticles for the production of sodium silicate, which is a very, very important industrial raw material. Instead of getting this silica from mineral exploration and exploitation here in this place, you don't have to destroy the environment. Here, we are asserting part of our mandate on conservation. So you can obtain this silica from our presentation. She said you can get from 15 to 25% silica from rice husk. Council, the department, my department is already doing that. We're going around the country, major rice processing states. We've gotten rice husk, we've converted it to ash. We are now extracting the silica for the production of sodium silicate. Also, the research that has been completed on the use of neem biopesticides. The council has successfully conducted that. In fact, that one has even been commercialized. RMRDC, in collaboration with business entrepreneur, after conducting research, took it up in Kaduna State and is producing these new biopesticides. So the council is in tune with the petition, and a lot of things that you've mentioned have been is being done, being undertaken. Thank you very much once again.
Ms. Arun, well done. It's very heartwarming to know that you're looking at a 360 news platform. You're following it, following religious. That's great. You said something. I would have wanted to go back to that slide where you talked about RMRDC, imperative for RMRDC to identify gaps pertaining to green chemistry research. I want to. We're almost at the end. Yes. Publish databases of green chemistry techniques.
to identify gaps in sustainable processing research. Is that the one? And your explanation, you said RMIDC should identify gaps that have to do with green research, yes? So I wanted to draw our attention to the fact that, like my colleague said, there are a lot of things that RMIDC is doing. In this direction, we think the patent registry, where at which we agreed to collaborate for the establishment of a technology innovation support center. What that center does, domiciled in the Directorate of Legal and Board Services, what that center does is that it hosts an innovation search engine. In essence, database on all existing technological knowledge. And so, for RMRDC and our stakeholders, what we gain is that we're able to look into that database and see what has been done, like what you're talking about. So we know where the gaps are, and we know where to take off from, what we need to do to innovate. So that support center, I've been in talks with the patents registry director, who is supposed to come in this month for that to be formally, yes sir, formally established here. So that opens RMRDC to information on every technology, every innovation that is available. And so we know what gaps exist. Just wanted to check that in. Well done, thank you for your presentation.
Mr. Leach, good morning, sir. Well, our guest speaker, I want to commend you for your presentation. I'm one of your professional colleagues on the chemist, so I'm so delighted in the course of making that presentation. First of all, may I know the difference between the green chemistry and the conventional chemical process in the context of the extractive industries? And number two, Nigeria is endowed with abundant raw materials. Among those raw materials, which one has potential, highest potential, greater potential for this grain processing, American chemical processing sector? Thank you. I said Nigeria is endowed with abundant natural resources. Among all these abundant resources, which of those raw materials is having greatest potential for grain processing chemical? Thank you.
Thank you for your commendation. The beauty of green chemistry, is the fact that we do not have to use a lot of chemicals. Just like I said, to have chemicals, as we are driving towards a circular economy. I'll use an example of synthesis, which I did. Synthesis of silver and gold nanoparticles, conducting bonds. And it was a green chemistry approach. In the chemical synthesis of this nanoparticle, I have to get the stabilizing agent and also the carbon agent. These are chemicals, increasing the workload of chemicals in the environment. But the beauty of green chemistry approach is the fact that I use plant extract. And this plant extract served as a capping agent and a stabilizing agent. The second question you asked, I listed some things that, some components of green chemistry. This is quite a few, but they are majorly utilized in agro-based, agro biomass, industrial waste, and some minerals like silica and limestone.
Thank you very much, Mary. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Professor JohnJohn for a few remarks. Yes?
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think, the in thing now, you can't talk about raw material without talking about green chemistry. As you are aware, everything on earth is chemistry, right from creation and on to the end of life. Everything is about chemistry. And as much as we have an endowment on earth, it has to do with that chemistry. So better means of, making the processes of nature safer. That is how chemistry has been able to evolve.